As a second speaker, I invite to the scene Alona Purvlice. She's a student of the third course. Please, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Gonna talk in English since this project we participated. It was the official language is English, and this project was between 5 different schools. And it was, as you see the name, it's sustainable refurbishment of residential building and management after completion, and sustainable public information. The project took place on the Recipe base, but also Pilsētas architects also kind of did their investment in that. And we were looking closer at one of the buildings in Purvciems, one of the microraions, and we took one building on Zelzava Street as an example. What can we do with this building? It's Series 602, and it's 9 floors. As you see, we were participating architects, engineers, audiovisual, media students, and business students. And everyone took part, everyone did something about it. These are 5 universities that were participating, of course from Denmark via university, Poland, Lithuania, Hungary, and Recipe. We made 6 teams of all of us, and the 6, all the teams were mixed, so we were students from the different universities and students of the different faculties. So that in every team it should be some engineers, some architects, and some business students. And this is, as you see, this is the street. This is the same microraion that Jorge was just talking about, and this is that building that we're looking at. It's right on the beginning of this Purvciems microraion, and this is one of the type that was built like in 1967, as you see. To say about the series, it's not the worst series about it, not the worst buildings that were created for the microraions. It's one of the good examples, let's say. And this is the closer pictures about it. This is what we found when we came there. And as you see, the building is it's quite old. There are some problems with the external views. Of course, some graffiti somewhere, and here you see also some details, like the inside, like the staircases. You see that it's prefabricated. In this case, it was in rather good conditions, but there are also buildings of different conditions. We also climbed on the roof to see what is happening there. So basically, first we started with looking at what we have. What is it that we have to deal with? And then we started looking at the floor plans. And floor plans, as you see, they are pretty much straightforward. The building was made from the prefabricated concrete panels, and the panels are basically forming all that you see. It's basically formed from the panels. And also this entire floor plan, it's not for the whole building, it's in sections. So for this particular building, it makes 3 sections. And this one section of it has 4 apartments. As you see, like this is first one, then this is the second one, and this part is like mirror from this. And talking about architecture, this is south part. So this building is in a good condition because they have an open facade from the south part, so they have a lot of light. And also the planning was made so that every apartment gets some southern windows, at least one room, but still they do have it. Also, the problem was that those panels, with the time, they became bearing, all of them, so we basically couldn't do anything about the planning, inside planning, just because we couldn't remove those walls. And for now I'm going to start about proposals that we had. Of course, we were making research on materials, and we were thinking how to do it more economically, and also how to do it not also economically, but to find the balance between money and what we have to do. The assignment was to refurbish the building so that it becomes with the values of passive house. But of course, if you do something with the building, you can do something a little bit less just to fulfill the basic national regulations. This is the first proposal. The first proposal was, as you see, I'm sorry. First proposal was, as you see, this is the typical plan as it was initially, and the proposal was just to add from the southern part, add additional balconies, and also remove some walls, but not like completely. It was just the opening for it, and basically we couldn't really think of changing all the internal planning, just because, as I told, these walls, for example, those are load bearing. We cannot do anything. But the problem was that the staircase is too little, and we had to do something with it, just because you cannot move normally. You cannot, if you have a child, you have to carry some stuff. It's not possible. It's like really bad. So this proposal, they are actually proposing to do a bigger elevator, and this wall, what used to be the part of the apartment, for now it's like a public space. So they basically do a bigger public space. And next to the plans, I always put I decided on my presentation, I decided to put some basic solutions that we made, but these basic solutions are just informative. We went too much deeper in those, so we had solutions for slabs, we had a solution for roof insulation, and for everything. But the basic, just to have some idea, it was just to insulate all the building with additional insulation, and also, of course, replace the windows. And as you see, we have also calculated the money amount that is necessary to do in order to do this. And some of the teams also have calculated in how many years it can be turned back. But I can answer those questions later. So this is the first proposal, and this is how it can look. And as you see, this is just the additional insulation and plaster, so it's not the most expensive solution, let's say. But also, all of the teams, they were trying to do something on roof. First of all, to get additional public space, and second, as you see, this part here, it's the solar panels, so the building is more sustainable, so it can provide part of the energy itself, let's say. This is the southern facade with all the balconies added, and this is the northern facade with the entrance and extended public areas of the staircases. But basically you can see that it's like much more visually it looks nicer, but this is just one of the things that we can do with those buildings. This is the other solution. Basically, it's pretty much the same. It looks close. They also take some part of that apartments here and create the huge staircase. and also in the southern part it's also balconies in here. But basically, as you see, we cannot do anything without the planning here. It's the best of what we can do without a lot of investments, let's say it like this. This is the proposed elevations. Also, as you can see, the roof floor added with green roof and partly covered to create additional public space. Then this is the third proposal, which was, I think, the most demolishing one, if you can say it like this. Because this team, they decided to just open this part. They basically erased one room from the floor plan so that more light can enter through the southern facade, but still this apartment became smaller. And also the same solution about the public staircase. And this is how it's gonna look on the facades. This team also thought about how can we combine two buildings of a kind together. Basically, this is also one interesting thing, that public space, which is like we all think that it can be on the ground level, but this team were thinking differently a little bit. So they were thinking that public space can be also on a roof level, and that roof level, it's not only for this apartment, but it can also be shared by the interesting, let's say, proposal. This is the part that is entered only from the roof, and it's something like a cultural place where inhabitants can meet. They can, talk to each other. They can share some activities, and it's quite big actually. It's quite interesting, but and it's only possible because this building, it doesn't have windows on this facade, this elevation, so it can be done like this, because for now it's kind of a free space. And in this case, we still get ground level free. So another one proposal. It's also, as you see, basic floor plan with the balconies. Only this team added some balconies also on the sides, where the section is not attached to another one. It's just some additional balconies on the sides. And this is also how it looks like. And last proposal from our teams, as you see, they added additional public space from this side. The apartment still, they didn't change a lot on the planning, because that wasn't really possible. And this is how they managed to get different look on it. Basically, they decided to do the painting, which is economically wise and is allowing to look for the building to look differently. Yeah. So that was about the look of the buildings, and as you see all that proposals, they were quite similar, but still they have some interesting features, all of them. And all of the proposals show that we can do something with the buildings like that, and it's not that it's supposed to be very expensive. I think all the business students, they were calculating that all the buildings, if we insulate them, they're gonna spend less energy, and then just by saving money for the energy, then it can be paid back in some 10-15 years. But of course, they were calculating also that some money is going to be taken from the government, and some money is going to be taken from the Europe funding, Jessica they call it, and still all the rest should be taken from the either apartment owners or some investment, but there is something that can be done with it. And also on this slide I have some information about the typical solutions that were used by not all of the teams, but a lot of the teams. Let's say, and this is, so you may know, this special detail for the balconies to reduce, to remove the cold bridges, so that buildings are not only insulated but are also without any cold bridges. Then there we were thinking about the windows a lot, because windows are the part where building lose a lot of energy. Then we were thinking also about roof, how to create that roof is not only insulated but also sustainable, so that in these cases we were thinking how to manage the water, let's say rainwater. And there were solutions when the rainwater was also filtered and used as a grey water to reduce the water usage actually. And as you see here, it's some insulation examples, and we were starting with the last with the expensive solutions, but then we're thinking then that it's not that economy wise to use expensive solutions, because people will have to pay for it, will have to do something with it. So we were considering what is the best solution for this entire building. And here on this section you can see how we were thinking about insulation. It's not only the walls, it's also sound insulation for the slabs, and it's also additional insulation from the basement, so that you can reduce heat losses from the apartments. And it's also, as you see, some additional insulation for the roof, and if there is something built on top, so it's also built like this. But in general, this project was very useful, since for now we established that we have a lot of things that we can do with these buildings, and at the end of the day it's not going to be that expensive. And also some of the teams, they created some let's say ways how to manage the people living there, because this is also a problem. People are still living there. How can we insulate the buildings with people living there? So there was a proposal when people has been moved to the construction how do you say, those houses which you usually use on a construction site, apartment by apartment. So we don't do the whole building at once, we just remove one section, then renovate the section and bring people back. So we were thinking about all of these interesting features, and we found out that there is a lot of things that we can do with the building. Of course, there are a lot of things that we cannot, but this building, not the worst buildings in the earth, how we thought before we started. There is something that can be done with it. Thank you.